But there's people that maybe might dive into it still. And one person that I hope doesn't do it is Jenna Ortega. But Jenna Ortega has a lot of issues going on now with fucking Wednesday. And you know what? I need to talk about that because that leads me to our feature story of the night. I want to talk about Wednesday for a second because we've had conversations about Wednesday in the past, about comments she's made, what's happened with Jenna Ortega, where the show's going. Of course, season 2 is about to begin filming. But recently, Tim Burton was talking about how he's been hard at work developing season 2. The strikes calmed it down, it slowed it down, waited for it to start. It's going to be starting very soon. And Jenna Ortega's comments have breached out more and more and more, being like literally, I can read her quote right here. She said, "I don't think I've ever put my foot down on set in a way that I had to do on Wednesday because it was so easy to fall into that category, especially with this type of show. There were times on that set when even I became almost unprofessional in a sense where I started changing lines. The script supervisor would come over and be like, what's going on with something? And then I would say, it's missing on the writers. And they would be like, wait, what happened on the scene? And she would be like, let me explain. I couldn't do certain things. So she's becoming problematic, and there have been people coming forward being like, how is she going to last? The first season, one of the most successful seasons on Netflix. They're going to season 2, and she's saying this stuff right before they were supposed to start. They shut down because of, again, the strikes. They're coming back now, and an insider came forward talking about this, Matthew Belloni, and he was talking about, Bellany, and he was talking about, what's going to happen moving forward. And he's like, what he's heard right now.
It was Matthew Belloni. I was like, that's great.
My mind went to Belloni. I wish it was Belloni. I really wish it was Belloni. But Matthew Belloni was like, hey, this is what I'm hearing. This shit's going to be done after season 2. The spinoffs are happening. And of course, Uncle Fester one's moving forward. They're working on more. They're being pretty quiet about it, but there's more spinoffs coming. And they're going to shoot season 2. And she already talked about how she changed everything for the dance in season 1. It was supposed to be like a flash mob, and she changed it just to her dancing. And she fought with the writers about lines. And she said, I want to do this, I want to do that. She started fighting about what's going to happen next. And now she has Beetlejuice coming out, so maybe that will blow up and she won't even need the show. But it really did make her career in a lot of ways. And he was coming for. What he hears is that season 2 will be the last one, and then they're going to branch off and do more seasons, more spin-offs without her. And that seems like if you have a problematic actor, that's what happens. As a studio, you see something that's very successful, you want it to keep thriving, and Wednesday could go for 6 seasons easily. They could do it. But if she's going to keep fighting the writers, the producers, the creators, you don't want that on set. The days are hard enough as it is. I've been there for 14 hours, day in, day out, for 5 months, and it is tough when an actor comes in and it's just not a team player. You can have your opinions, everybody. You can have your opinions. You can be like, hey, it's fine. I think that my character wouldn't say this, or I think my character wouldn't say that, or I think we could add this to it. But I think stuff like that, GR. But at the end of the day, when you literally just change the lines and ignore everybody and say, this is what I'm doing and deal with it, that's not going to make a good show. And I think that could have lead into her career moving forward if she keeps doing that shit. It won't be good for her, but I think that I agree with what we're hearing is that Wednesday might be done. Already a lot of problems. Maybe not. Maybe she'll get her tune figured out, but she just said this not too long ago on the Dax Shepard show. I love Dax Shepard, by the way, fucking great guy. And I hope that she's not going to do it because I think I enjoy the show, and I hope it does very well and further flourishes on Netflix, but I think it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Jake, you've seen the show before, right? Mm-hmm. If you're before you're your manager, if your talent was doing this on set, could that blow their whole career out of the water? Do you think that this is a bad form thing, or do you think that she was in the right to do this? And would you be upset if Wednesday season 3 doesn't happen and that the franchise ends after 2 seasons?
It's hard because if you start acting such with the manager agent dynamic and the what's the word for it? Well, I can't. The relationships. Sorry, the relationships that all of these companies have with the casting directors and all of the associates. And if your actor or actress starts to act a fool, you're going to have to start tying off some loose ends and like, I'm sorry, this isn't really, and it's going to snowball.
Makes the job harder, doesn't it?
It makes the job a lot harder. And if the talent is warranted in what they're asking for, and then that's a negotiating thing for another season, not in the middle of it. It's not something that you just bring up in the middle of set. And because then, like you said, you're there and you're dealing with this one bad actor, a bad apple, if you will. It makes everybody's job harder, and it's a fine line you got to dance. But if she cares that much about Wednesday's character, then I can see where she's coming from. I think this is what Wednesday would.
It could be warranted, right?
It could be, but you still have to. You have to.
You think it's good to go on a talk show and like talk shit about the show, though?
No, I think it's low. I think
if you were a manager, you'd be like, "Oh God, what the hell is happening right now? You're fucking great, girl. Calm down."
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. That's just unprofessional, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
well, that's what I worry about too. Like Queen was saying, if you're passionate, same thing you're saying, passionate, which it goes a long way to be passionate about a show and you want it to be the best thing ever. And I've been there too. I want it to be the best thing ever. But there's a way of, I call it like it's like a dance in a lot of ways. It's like how you talk to people, how you work off them, how you feed off their energy, how you make it come into fruition in a way without being an asshole, and as an actor, it's a fine line. I think some people have it. She's very young and I believe that she believes in the show and she really wants to be great, but there's a dance. You have to play in a certain way. And if you don't, a lot of times shows just shut you down. They just gone. But I just worry about the show, and I think that it could cause a problem for a season 3. Now, the real contractually happening for season 2 is going down, and I think Netflix might be doing other things, but I hope that this season changes. Lexi, what do you think? Do you think that this is writing on the wall? She's problematic. She's in a contract now. It's fine. And they're already creating spinoffs. Do you think that this shows Wednesday might be done for 2 seasons, or do you think that she can find a way to make it work in a balance, and what she's brought to the show will only benefit it moving forward into the future?
Well, there was a dance, Brian, and she didn't like it, and she made them change it. And
That's also true.
So,
That's also true.
So
that was awesome.
She didn't want to do Scream 7 because of there's my duck.
Quacking up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she didn't want to do Scream 7 because of the shit that happened with the other girl. Mm-hmm. She seems to have strong opinions and strong stances. She doesn't say, yes, very easy. She doesn't bend over. She doesn't take shit. So I think this whole statement of she's difficult, I think she's a woman in Hollywood who is understanding of what she wants. She understands the roles that she's being given. She sees potential, wants to see more from these roles and these characters. I think that she's being given trash. She's being given sequels, prequels, no original characters.
Yeah.
I think she saw the potential in Wednesday Addams as making it her own. She wanted to make it her own. They didn't have any idea what they wanted to do. She was like, this is not what this character is. They were clearly trying to do something else with it. And then it's kind of like they probably saw the potential to make another, like, what was that shit, the Sabrina the teenage witch thing that they made. They focused on more of that kind of stuff with it, and she was like, no, that's not what you do with this kind of thing. So she helped shape that series, and a lot of people have said that the series turned out the way it did the first season because of her stepping in. And so with the second season, she got like, what was it, a producer role? She came in and got like a stronger positioning, and they were like, okay, we need to listen to this girl. So instead of sitting there and saying that she was an issue and a difficulty, maybe, you know, instead, you know, she clearly wasn't. She got a power role. She got herself in a position of, you know, the second season. If she's like in the second season and she's like, you guys are not fucking listening and you guys are not whatever, she's like, I'm going to take myself and I'm going to go somewhere. I don't think they're the right ones. I think she's a hot commodity. I think that she has the capacity to walk away and put herself where she wants to, and that she has the voice to speak how she wants because younger people are listening to her. She has the voice of Gen Z. If Hollywood wants to see like money come in from their films, they want to see growth with they want to see seats in the theaters, like fill
butts in the seats.
She's going to fill them because they're the demographic that want to see her. And the way that she talks, the way that she spouts off, they like that. She's appealing to that demographic. She's appealing to that generation. So despite how she might come across in interviews, or maybe she's upsetting to, you know, her manager or
producers,
something like that.
Managers, yeah.
She's appealing to the demographic that she needs to be appealing to, which is the 20-something demographic that's going to make the money for the studios right now. If the studios are smart, they'll look at her and say, she's great, she's on fire, just keep letting her do what she's doing. Let her have power, let her have what she wants. Because if they let her have power and let her have what she wants, they'll make money. And they'll have greater successes with her if they just let her keep letting her have her voice and letting her keep doing what she's doing. They're fucking up by not letting her have power because she has the potential currently to be one of the most powerful actresses in Hollywood. At her current age, where she's at, with what she's being given, with what she's able to do, she's only going to go up. She's not going to collapse. And the mouth that she has on her is good. She's not like, what was that one from the Hunger Games, Jennifer Lawrence? She's not like that one.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence, once she started opening her mouth and shooting her mouth off, she only like hurt herself further and further. This one's doing it the right way. So
yeah,
this one's only going to grow. Ortega's only going to have success from here. So
I get that.
If she leaves Wednesday, it's their fault. And all of their spinoff series and everything that comes from it is only going to collapse.
They won't do well.
Because she left. They need her involvement. They need her as a producer on all of these other shows for them to have any success because they need her involvement to be able to appeal to Gen Z, who are the people who are pulling the show in.
Yeah. Rachel, do you agree with that? You think that's the route they need? They need Jenna Ortega, and she is helping the show? Or do you think that maybe she, is being a little bit too far for the production to keep moving forward?
I was also going to bring up the fact that she's Gen Z and she's really kind of one of the more predominant Gen Z actors that we're dealing with right now. And it's her attitudes and behaviors are very indicative of the strong-willed nature of Gen Z, which is good. It is a good thing that will serve them. So I think that Hollywood needs to buckle up and start to adjust to the younger generation that's coming in. You aren't dealing with the older generations who are going to lay down and listen when they have creative ideas. Another point that I wanted to bring up was that they talking about the dance scene and how she changed it to a solo rather than a group thing. She actively had COVID when she filmed that scene. And I think that's something that people forget about a lot, is that she was very, very ill when she filmed that scene and probably didn't want to get other people sick.
That's a good point.
So changing it to a solo rather than a group number kind of helps space things out.
Try
they
not
filmed
to
it in the middle of 2020. Vaccines weren't out yet. Like, she was deathly ill. So there's other factors than, she's just being difficult to consider here.
I not know that, Rachel. That's interesting. I mean, honestly, the fact that she's maybe looking out for other people too at the same point.
Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I can't speak to exactly what her motivations were.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem unlikely. It's a factor that needs to at least be considered.
Yeah. We're not there.
And the fact,
needs to be considered.
Like, I wouldn't blame her being unhappy working on that set. From everything I've heard, it was a miserable set to work on. They were overworked. They were sick while they were working. They weren't filming in America, so they didn't have to follow any of the COVID protocols we had here. So
it was a weird time in Hollywood, and a lot of places were not doing the same things other places were. And, people are trying to figure out, like, what am I doing? How I feel safe. There's a lot of shit that was happening. There's a lot of factors, and that's the nature of that show. Though they had to shoot overseas. That's what it was. And the next season's shooting overseas as well. And there, so that's just how it goes, to get that look, to get that feel, to get that motivation for the scenery. And I think overall,
but you can still treat your actors respectfully and say, "Hey, you're sick. Let's maybe film something else while you get better."
Yeah, and I just feel like,
let's not have you film a really stressful dance scene while you have a fever and you're kind of dying a little bit.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, I think that they probably shouldn't have shot that day. They probably should have taken her out and had her sit down and, take a week off, and stop. But they don't do it all the time. They just keep firing through they can, even though, like, we were going through a pandemic.
They were shooting it in Eastern Europe, Edward.
Yep, Eastern Europe, yeah. They're going to Ireland, I think, for the next season. I think it's Ireland or Scotland, something like that.
I think Ortega, Zendaya, and Tom Holland, those three are like power players with the Gen Z.
Oh, absolutely. They're the Gen Z power players. And you've got Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sick of Timothée Chalamet. I like him, but I'm just like, put him in everything.
I agree with you. They put him in everything.
Can he not do everything?
But he is a power player when it comes to the Gen Z.
He's great. He's a really strong actor. He's
really good.
Fucking killing it out there right now.
I joke about what he's gonna be in next, but he's really
Gen
good.
Z likes the other three that I mentioned. Like, they want to see him and stuff. So that's if you want the movies, if you want seats filled, those are the ones who want. Chalamet, they seem to be thinking they'll market for them, but they don't seem to be like interested in them. We seem to be watching them. Millennials seem to like Timothée Chalamet. That kind of stuff.
Sickly Victorian child, Timothée Chalamet.
Just something about him. Take you back to a time where life was
simpler. The films they put him in, because they keep putting him in like Dune and Willy Wonka, which are all like really just unappealing to Gen Z.
Yeah,
like
it's not. Right, Peps?
Oh no, hell no!
Yeah. I just think that at the end of the day, though, we're at the sea with this. Now, he might be an insider saying that this is what's going to happen, but you're right. There's a new season coming. They're going to start shooting, I think, within the next month. They've been writing, developing, creating, and when they get back to set, we'll see what happens. I think strong opinions are good, but I also think that it is a dynamic on set. You have to respect certain things. And I hope she didn't burn her bridges, because I do think the first season was really good. I know Jake liked the first season too, right, Jake? And so, hopefully whatever she brought to it made it what it is. Actors always do, especially the lead. And I hope at the end of the day, we continue forward, and this is not right. And a show like this can branch out and actually make an Addams Family universe that works. Not them, pushing for universes for Addams Family, but I'm thinking that if you have her, and like Edward Hyde said, why do the whole Addams Family? You could, if this does well, and you could branch into season 3 being.
Happening.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a spy series.
That'd be awesome. He could freaking walk around and do his bitches shit. I don't know, but I just think that we could do more with this franchise, with this IP. This IP could grow and thrive and just fucking destroy things.
Just be a healthy, thick, pulsing IP-ness.
Just very happy, ready to explode because of the enthusiasm it has. And I think that's what we need. And I think that if and when
enthusiasm.
Oh God! If and when they get there, I think that would be good for the Addams Family. But until then, we have no idea. Hopefully, whatever happened in the past won't be what happens in the future, and that this franchise can continue forward, because it's happening. Season 2. We're not sure about season 3. We'll see.
Yo, player. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pep Star needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.